I have always been fascinated by light, for without light, the world we know would never be able to exist. Our eyes depend on the presence of light in order for us to see. Everything we see has different material properties that affect light. As a 3D artist, these properties, such as the way light reflects off surfaces and the way it can change based upon the material an object is made from, has always been of great interest to me. Light is also a particularly difficult and resource-intensive phenomena to simulate in a digital environment. This particular piece, titled Multiple Beams of Light, created by Berenice Abbott, communicates to the viewer by focusing the viewer's attention at the start of a light beam's journey through the photograph. The brightest point in the photograph is the light source, causing this to be the first focal point of the image. The viewer's eye is then directed upwards as the beam fans out and into the prism. The prism alters the light, converting it from a particle-filled beam into a smooth, uniform beam of light, which breaks apart again upon leaving the prism. This transition takes the viewer through a series of changes as the beam progresses along its journey. This photograph was taken by Berenice Abbott, an American-born photographer. Abbott initially set out not to become a photographer, but rather to become a sculptor. Upon moving to Paris after a failed attempt to start her career in New York, she yet again was struggling to get her sculpting career to profit. It was at this time that she began to work as an assistant to the American photographer Man Ray, who encouraged her to experiment with photography. Abbott quickly began to accumulate clients for her unique style of portraiture, which captures the subject in a more natural setting than traditional portraiture. This gave her photography a more emotional feeling that captured the more natural aspects of her clients. Upon moving back to the United States, Abbott was inspired by the technological and architectural changes that had taken place in New York during her time away in Paris. This led her to start a 4-year-long project called Changing New York, in which she set out to capture how the city had begun to change as a result of changes in technology. In the 1940s, she began working for publishers of physics textbooks, taking photographs to aid in the instruction in the material being presented. Her background as an artist led her to take a different approach to this task than previous photographers. For Abbott, these images were just as much works of art as they were scientific concepts. She felt that communicating these concepts in a more visually appealing way would aid in the viewer's ability to understand the concepts. This belief led her to fight for her work to have equal representation in both the art and scientific communities, with her art being featured in art exhibitions, additionally to textbooks. This photograph was taken by Abbott in order to show the properties of light and how light is affected by passing through a prism. This demonstrates the concepts of refraction and reflection. Additionally, this photograph explores the complex nature of light in that it can act as both a particle and as a wave. Outside the prism, the light beam appears as if they are composed of particles. However, once the beam enters the prism, it smooths out into a uniform beam, symbolizing how light can behave as a wave. Abbott's work as a photographer challenged what the world considered to be art, and using this opportunity, she showcased the beauty in scientific phenomenon. While her scientific work may not be the most well-known collection out of all her photographs, it has had a lasting impact, and her images will remain at home in physics textbooks today. Abbott's work showed the world how beautiful science can be.